Hey everyone, real quick before we get into the video, Dead Broke Nerd, Silverfuse, and I are starting a new Discord server for people who are not quite competitive players, but not quite casual players either. We were talking about how there's a definite intermediary zone, people who take the game seriously but don't play tournaments. I think I fall squarely into that kind of category. DBN thinks he does too. Um, so we wanted to have a place where we can talk about how to make decks better, how to get better at the game, but not necessarily by always playing top tier decks. We have channels for, how do I get better at piloting this deck? How do I improve this deck? Do we have any feedback? Then we have a channel for, hey, this is a deck that I want to share, but I'm not looking for feedback right now, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So there's going to be a link in the description to the server. I really suggest you join it. Most people who are watching my videos, I think, probably would fall into this category of, well, I take the game seriously, but I'm not going to spend all of my time playing it. I just want to be good at it. I don't care about being necessarily the absolute best. So if that sounds like it appeals to you, then check out the link in the description. I think it's going to be a really good place and one that I am really looking forward to help grow. Now, let's get on to today's video. What's up, everyone? It is Lasergician. We're going to play more dragons because dragons are awesome. Big, dumb things being big and dumb and doing awesome things is a lot of fun. This one is, I think, the first deck I made after Moons of Elswyr, whatever, released. It uses a couple of new cards that I think are really fun. It has the same Berserker of the Pale and Mulamnir win condition that a lot of red dragon decks are going to have. Credit to Ian Bits' videos for inspiration on that. Otherwise, this is basically just a really bad version of the Rage Crusader that Aini and Folk were running kind of right before Moons of Elswyr released. It's got things like the Golden Initiate for health gain. I threw in Vivek because he's a really good, I'm gonna die, I don't want to die, help me kind of escape. Thadon helps us draw a ridiculous amount of cards. A single Queen's Captain for some flexible late game. I think there's probably a better version of Crusader control that has, the Rage package and a couple more Queen's Captains, but I'm just running the one because it works out pretty well. 2 Vigilant Giants for draw, Grey Viper Brigand for draw. You'll notice we're not running a ton of dragons. This is kind of a dragon splash, if you will. Flame Spear Dragon as a way to ping off small stuff, because when this came out, Halalu was still very strong. Or when I made this deck, rather, Halalu was still very strong. And this can facilitate some good trades. Blood Dragons, because Blood Dragon is fantastic. Wildfire Dragon, because same kind of idea. It can be a nice stabilization tool. Now that we're in a much more mid-range focused meta, Wildfire Dragon is not nearly as good, but it's big and splashy and fun, so who cares? Mulamnir, because he's a win condition. Calgron Teed, because he is a grindy win condition, and Odaving, because he's Big Daddy Oda. You gotta include him, right? It's Odaving. You don't not include Odaving. And then kind of the hallmark of this style of deck is that it just has a ton of big beefy threats along the way. Rift Thane is either a 4-2 or a 2-4 for 2. Both are very good. Usually this will come down in guard mode because we're a relatively defensive deck, but we can turn the pressure on if we want to. Stormcloak Vanguard, because it's like cheap removal basically. Crusader Assaults for drawing cards. A single Crushing Blow, because early game removal is important, along with 3 Executes. High Defenders, and there usually would be right around here would be the Phalanx Exemplar. I took him out for Blood Dragons because we're playing dragons. I'm sorry, it's terrible. I know it's bad, but we're running with this. So let's give this some play. Dargans, yeah. If anyone saw me on the Friday stream with CVH right before QuakeCon, this is the same deck that I played then. A lot of fun. Again, it's a mid-range deck. It's not a control. It's not an aggro. It's very firmly in the can either put on pressure or can stave off pressure. It does kind of depend on getting the right draws to be more reactive, but you can make it happen. All right, Azrael A88A, the Dragonborn playing Crusader. I'm gonna guess this is an aggressive Crusader, so we're gonna mulligan for defensive options. Those are all pretty bad. Camel is good for late game value. Yeah, it's a lot better. Execute is a great opener. Hive Defender is nice when you have the ring in your opening hand. Golden Initiate, always nice in the early game. We don't mind them giving us some cards early, so Golden Initiate is usually better off of a rune, but just as a 3-drop, it's also totally serviceable. And as such, we will play it. Notably, Hive Defender can trade into the 5/5 with a Crusader's Assault. Awesome. So even though it didn't get a chance to drain, it still ended up effectively being heal 3, because instead of that 3 going to our face, it went into our creature. We know that next turn he's going to be playing a 5/5, which actually kind of makes me want to play the Golden Initiate, because that way we can kill it with Crusader's Assault and then execute down the Orc Clan Captain afterward. He's not. Interesting. Well, in that case, we get a value trade and a Hive Defender. I don't understand that play, but I don't know. I'm not in his head, so who knows what he was thinking. Okay, sure. Gives us a really good Crusader's Assault. Trade first. Nothing else we're gonna do. Draw ourselves some cards. Yeah, we have the Berserker and Mulamnir in hand, so we just gotta survive. Just gotta survive. Our hand is a little low on stuff to do. That's okay. Yeah, if he's just playing one threat, we can totally deal with that. Start with a camel. Huh. I don't think we need more late game. I think our late game is already pretty solid. Between Vigilant Giant next turn, or we could Queen's Captain for some cards. We'll probably hold on to Queen's Captain for removal. Yeah, I think between Mulamnir, Vigilant Giant, and such, pretty set on late game right now.
I am ready to join the circle.
Wildfire Dragon value? Why, I would love some. Thank you so much. So dumb. I love it. I love dragon decks. So Queen's Captain is going to be on Destroy. Vigilant Giant is still probably the play. He's going to go for the Vigilante. Okay. So he gets the transformation. We get to smack that down. This deck is running a reasonably high prophecy count. It's not insane. It's nowhere near my Guildsworn Dragon list, but it's still a non-negligible amount. One sad thing is we are gonna break a rune when we break through here, but that's okay. We get a Slay proc as well. Find ourselves a Rift Thane for the draw. That's pretty nice. So we're a couple turns off of Berserker Mulamnir. Cost 12. We have the ring, so we can do it on 11, so we're 2 turns off. Crushing Blow and Queen's Captain for removal. Queen's Captain not next turn, of course.
I'll try to draw their fire.
Ooh, that sucks for us. I mean, granted, we have plenty of ways to work around that. We can trade here, Crushing Blow there. Depends on how greedy we want to get. This doesn't have Breakthrough. Our health total isn't particularly threatened. It's still the responsible thing to do, though. Let's put down some... Well, do we want to play Rift Thanes? Let's just play the Blood Dragon. Maybe one Rift Thane. Because again, we're look, if we're playing dragons, we're gonna go for the Mulamnir win condition. Like, we have to, right? So we do want to keep at least a little bit of his board presence. Maybe Flame Spear Dragon next turn just to soften stuff up for Mulamnir. Okay. Sure.
Behold my power.
Grey Viper gives us a draw, right? Because we already played one. Oh, that's bad. Luckily, Queen's Captain. We'll go Queen's Captain and then execute. Okay. I got really afraid for a second that I had miscounted. Execute comes down. Yeah. Mulamnir has how much health? 8? Okay, so that's actually kind of an issue because that means that if this is... Well, we could... If this gets damage onto Mulamnir, then that means that's the only thing Mulamnir can attack. And vice versa, Mulamnir can't attack this afterward because it can only attack things with power less than Mulamnir's health. I'm going to put down the Rift Thane. Guard up. Hopefully he plays several more creatures that Mulamnir can attack into. Also, hopefully we don't just die. That would kind of put a damper on the plan too. I don't think we die though. They're missing a good chunk of damage. Unless they somehow have a Crusader's Assault in hand, which it's Crusader's Assault. They always have it, right? Somehow have it in hand. Also noteworthy, we could have gone on the aggressive pretty early this game, around like turn 5 or 6. We could have started being the beatdown deck. But I've never actually pulled off Berserker of the Pale and Mulamnir, and it looks like a lot of fun, so I want to do that instead. Ooh, that's potentially a bummer. 7, 9, they're only missing 4 damage?
Your fear betrays you.
Okay. Don't kill me, please, Mr. Ezreal. Just play stuff so I can kill you back. Yeah, that works. We have 9 power. Okay. Cool. Ring. Mulamnir. That breaks you for 7.
Victory is yours.
Aw, man. That was cool anyway. So yeah, that's Crusader control with dragons, mid-range, really. Another quest done. Sweet. It's a fun deck. It can be made a lot better than how I made it, but this version was a lot of fun for me. It's probably good enough to get you to Legend. I don't think it's good enough to succeed in High Legend. It's not going to be a meta breaker or anything. But look, it's a bunch of fun, and you can tailor the dragon package kind of how you want. Let's take a look at the deck list again really quickly. With Calgron Teed, at the time, aggro was pretty prevalent, which is why I put the Wildfire Dragons in. Right now, we're much more mid-range, so you have a couple options. You can either say, I'm going to go heavier than them and put in things like the Undying Dragons to get some 10-10 drainers out on the board. You could swap the Rage package back in and take out some of the more like utility things like the Merchant's Camel if you wanted to, I guess. But this deck is also very, very good at drawing cards. It's one of the reasons that Aini put it together the way he did initially and why it got popular. Yeah, this deck it's pretty flexible. You can tune it a lot of different ways, how you want to. It's a lot of fun, and I highly suggest you play it. So, if you enjoyed that, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you can check out all of the more videos that I'm going to be putting out coming out soon. And until then, see y'all next time.